Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how not to lose yourself in your roles as wife, mother, homemaker, so that you can live a purposeful life and so that you will not sacrifice your dreams. If you have ever felt like between your roles and responsibilities at home and your roles and responsibilities at work, you cannot find yourself, then keep watching. Let me start with this. You are a person. You are important to God. You are a person all by yourself, apart from whatever role or identity that you have currently on earth. Before the foundation of the world, God knew you, loved you, chose you, adopted you, and you are important to God. You need to have this, that your identity, your sense of self, your balance doesn't come from what people say about you, what you have achieved, what you think you are like as a wife and a mother. Okay? It comes from who God has created you to be. It comes from the love that God has for you. And that is very important for us to establish right off bat. I'll start off with this story. Growing up, I hated the Proverbs 31 woman. Especially as a teenager, till becoming a young lady, I wanted to be her. So I prayed, read my Bible, read books, lots of books, listened to podcasts, read blogs, watched YouTube videos, listened to sermons, all trying to become her. And yes, I achieved a measure of results. But in 2020, a friend of mine made a passing comment, which sent me back to study her. And it is based on the things that I learned and that I started to practice in my life and in the life of my clients and in the lives of my friends. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. All right, ready? Let's go. The first thing I want you to know is this woman flowed from her core. She wasn't all over the place trying to be everything and everyone. I know that you look at Proverbs 31 and it looks like she was doing everything. She wasn't. 80% of what she did was attached to textiles, end to end, from making thread to manufacturing material to sewing those fabrics to selling, to exporting it, to wholesaling it, to serving her family and making clothes for her family. 80% of what she did in that chapter, in terms of her skills and her work, was attached to textiles. That was her core. And today I want to ask you, what is your core? What is that line across your experiences, your passions, your strengths, your interests? Your journey as a woman? What is that line? What is that thing that ties everything together? What is your core? If you know it, you can write it out in the comment section. The next thing I want to share with you is she did not mind doing small tasks, but she was not small-minded. So the same woman who was selling things, most likely later, was selling things wholesale, was bringing in things from ships, was buying pieces of land, was known and had a brand, was the same person that was waking up early before her help and her maids, was the same person who was making thread manually at some point in her life. She was making thread manually for those same materials that she was selling at wholesale later. That same woman. She was willing to start small, but she was not small-minded. And I want to ask you, what are those things that you have that you're looking down on, that you can start using today to serve, to impact your walls, to make a difference, no matter where you are? In fact, it might even be the skills that you use at work. Those particular skills, maybe you are great at strategy and HR and training, admin, operations. Is it possible to take those skills and begin to invest them in your family or invest them in your community or whatever else that you do and that God has placed in your hands? Because at the end of the day, you're one person. you are not scattered across everything else. Everything else is coming to you because of who you are. Okay, and you flow from who you are into all those other different things. So you have to be willing to start small without being small-minded. And yes, we'll get to the big visions at some point in time, but while you are waiting, you can be patient and start now. Maybe you're in a season with a little baby, maybe you're taking care of a parent that is sick, maybe you're holding down the fort because your husband doesn't stay in the same town as you are, and so you cannot afford to do certain things or travel as much as you want to do. Whatever the case may be, start now. Look at yourself and say, what can I start today with what I have? Maybe I'll start by journaling or researching or learning or praying or getting coached. What can I start now? Then the next thing that this woman did was, that I noticed, was that even though she was serving consistently, she was serving her family, she was serving her maids, she was serving her community, she was serving her customers, she was growing herself, because it could not be the same woman doing everything. If you read, like I tried to do in between the lines, she went from stage to stage growing. And for me, I call that the grow and serve. A lot of women just serve, and that's how they lose themselves, because they dissipate. They are not building themselves. They are not investing into personal development. They are not investing into times of retreating with God. They are not having times to replenish their soul and their spirit. They are not taking out time to, like, even if you have to wake up very early in the morning and use 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. to pull yourself together and pour into yourself and just build yourself, it is important. You have to do it. You have to do it. And so you grow yourself, and then as you grow yourself, you serve. Because this thing about not losing myself, the Bible says they that say, oh, I'm protecting my life and I'm not going to lose it, I'm paraphrasing, they will end up losing it. And the person that just pours out his life and gives is the one that's going to end up preserving his life. Isaiah 58 talks about somebody that pours out his life for others. The Bible says that God will be his light. God will guide him. And that it will be like a well-watered spring. Or she will be like a well-watered spring, if you want to use that. You would not be dry, because God himself will be watering you. It is impossible to be a channel of blessing and not be blessed. So in that same way, we make sure we grow. It is important to grow, because it's who you grow determines, and the person you become and the person you grow into to be determines the impact and the value and the excellence you can bring to your world. So even if it is cooking, for instance, if you don't grow and learn, you can never serve at an increasingly better level, at an increasingly optimal level. If it is about taking care of your children, if it's about doing great in your career, it's about anything else, you have to grow yourself. But the more you grow yourself, the more you realize that this isn't just about me. I'm not about to become bloated and constipated, because the person who is bloated and constipated, nobody can recognize. You're all puffy and everything and bloated with knowledge and fluffy and, But if you're going to be a woman that carries weight, even, with exercise and bodybuilding, you eat well and then you exercise. You eat well and then you exercise. So we grow and then we build. And that is how we become women that carry weight, women that build legacy that lasts into generations. We deliberately build ourselves into institutions that cannot be lost, that cannot be ignored. But at the same time, we know that we're not doing it just for us, but we're serving our family, we're serving our God, we're serving his world. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let's have a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and if you click the notification bell and all those things that's on YouTube, you get a notification when next time I do a video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Amaka. I'm a Christian family strategist, and I am passionate about helping purposeful women build happy, strong, godly families so that they don't lose themselves and that their work and their life doesn't suffer. I'll see you next time. Bye.